between the two of them.
Yeah.
At least on Twitch, I do.
Sass, Cham, it's.
Okay, I think everything's set up for this. So we've got Andy in the top left. We have Legend in the bottom right versus Matt in bottom left and Zain in top right. I've got audio turned off. Game control sound.
J-Card said I just farted.
Lovely, charming. So Matt and Zain swap positions. Do we have a best of? Is this best of like 5, 7, 9?
9.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Okay. I was gonna go for an old drunk walk, but maybe we'll have to postpone that till later. I will continue drinking at home in that case.
That's right. So when are we finding out where that Corey guy lives and go kicking his ass?
Sorry. Well, she did say she plays Civilization. And I was like, well, I used to play loads of Civ 5. Berg, Matty, stream my game at 7 a.m. GMT tomorrow. Abso-fucking-lutely not, man.
That's in like 4 hours, isn't it?
7 a.m. GMT is 8 a.m. British summertime, and that is in less than 7 hours. That is in 6 hours and 46 minutes. So abso-fucking-lutely not, dude. Dedication? I mean, no. So nice early aggression from Zain here against Legend. Did he get a minor? I wasn't really paying attention. I think he got a minor. Must have got a minor. 2 refs down and only 1 minor. On the flip side, so confusing, dude. I'll ask him why.
Fucking cross.
Yeah, cross corners and people flipping the sides that they're building on. Like, fuck's sake, they don't make it easy, do they? I mean, nice defense from Matt over in the top right corner. He learnt all this from me. He did steal my username. That is now RA2 law. Andy, okay, so Andy Allied, top left. He's been left alone. 3 minors, 3 refs, so he didn't build any minors out of his war. Hasn't installed the back 2 refs. Interesting build, putting 2 refs down the back as well. Especially as allies, running minors around. Zain's runners in the bottom mid doing some work there. Deciding that he has to run back to base, try and save his war factory. He loses the war factory. There is no war factory back at his spawn on the opposite side, but he does fend off Legend's rhinos. Whew. John, you're gonna have to take over most of this commentary, man.
Oh, come on, you're doing such a great job.
I'm spouting words. I don't know if they mean anything. So Legend selling his MCV. Nice Rockies out from Matt. Incredibly good. This is Yuri's mode, not RA2 as well, isn't it?
Correct.
Like, Matt is a demon. And his GG's out. Like, he realizes Legend is dead. Like, wow. I don't see Matt often enough. I've casted some games that he's done back in the old FC tournament at the end of last year, and I think a couple of challenge games and a couple of show games. I've played him in a few games as well when he's jumped in FFGs, and I know everybody has various personas in the RA2 community, but to me, Matt has always been super chill, super nice guy. And he is just a great player. He really is. And I don't see enough of him. And it's great to see him play some games, I think, for the first time this year.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen him ever, except in your game. So,
like, he is, to my knowledge, I'm sure Twitch chat will correct me if I'm wrong, but he is an RA2 player as opposed to Yuri's. Plays Yuri's, but traditionally RA2, in the same way that Path is an RA2 player as opposed to Yuri's player, right? You know, that's the one he prefers. That's the one he plays the most. Oh, do you want to go like Team A and I'll go Team B? So that we can see what people are chatting on Team Chat. And see Team Beacons as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I want to know who the great Career Migs dude is. Is that Career Mig X or XXX? Different Career Mig?
Yeah, something like that.
Something
I
like
think
that,
he was
yeah.
the one who just set the game up like 5 minutes ago.
And this is a cash game?
Yep. $20 to each player, so just $40.
Okay,
total.
$40 to the winning team, best of 9. QM, standard rules, nothing funky.
I don't know what the rules were other than $40 and best of 9. So.
Okay, so Matt's saying he's gonna tech. Zane's saying that they're gonna NG rush, and Legend may rush.
Yeah, Andy said something, but I missed it.
Matt saying that basically Zane, stop worrying, I got this. You know, stop being a worry wart. You know, just chill, just play the game, and we're gonna win. It's basically what Matt was saying there.
I was waiting for you to call him a fucking bloody wanker or a bloody cunt, but I think sometimes you try to keep it kid friendly, right?
It's not so much that I try and keep it kid friendly. It's that I don't want to unnecessarily insult like the players. And also Zane, neither Zane nor Matt, you know, called the other player a dick or a cunt or anything like that. They were just saying that, you know, Zane was just saying that they're gonna end your rush, and Matt was just saying, dude, like, calm down, we got this, it's gonna be fine.
Right, and Andy beaconed, Legend beaconed Andy on Red's War Factory.
Well, Matt got his miner droned here, so is he gonna have to have cancelled his next ref? Oh, and the NG coming in from Andy as well. Buildings aren't garrisoned here, so he can hide.
Beacon detected.
Matt gonna lose this miner? Yeah, he does. And Andy gets Zane's MCV and sells it and gets the new no, he doesn't get the new NG back in the IFE. He took my MCV. Yeah, Zane just realizes. It looks like bottom team might be in a sort of Matt sells the MCV.
Jeez.
Matt saying he sold. And on the back of this, Legend on 5 miners, Andy on 4, Zane on 4, and Matt on 3. So, I mean, if this game is going 2 more minutes and then it's over, right? You know, either Matt and Zane win and some kind of heroic all-in, or the heroic all-in fails and they have nothing left in the gas tank.
Yep, Andy's coming down the bottom left with another NGIFV.
Yep. He's gonna try going for Matt. I don't think it's gonna work with those battle bunkers there. That should be able to fend off the IFV. Doing some good work here, and they're gonna do some damage to Legend, but unfortunately, I just don't think they're gonna be able to do any kind of base trade here. Andy teammate Legend? Yeah. And Zane's teammate is Matt.
Our ally is under attack.
Good effort. Oh, okay. And Andy was able to capture Matt's barracks there. Didn't think he'd be able to get it, but hidden pillbox.
Our ally is under attack.
Rocky's coming in from Andy. Matt's war factory goes down, and that is it for Matt. Matt is out of the fight. Zain sitting there, 4 miners, one war versus a pretty full base. Zain, 3 rhinos, and yeah, I mean this is GG.
Yeah.
Hey Steve, how's it going, dude? I forgot to update the score, so Matt and Zain did win game number 1. It's a best of 9, I've been told. So this will even it up to 1-1 if Andy and Legend are able to win. A nice power drop from Andy there. GI's doing a lot of chip damage.
Beacon detected.
W with elite. Andy harassing Zane's miners down the bottom right.
Yeah, I mean, Matt is. Are there any red units left on the map? Oh, there's one elite. Yeah, one elite. But Legend takes it out, and Zain has, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rhinos.
Our ally is
It's
under
even
attack.
Sash the observer calling GG, saying, guys, come on, please, for the love of God, let's just start game 2. Stop wasting everybody's time.
Our ally
And
is under attack.
please give up. Snark score is 1-1. It's technically 1-0 to Matt and Zain, but if this game goes in the direction of Andy Legend, it is 1-0.
Our ally is under attack.
And
Player defeated.
Matt finally realizing the writing is on the
Our ally
wall.
is under attack.
GG's
Player
out.
defeated.
Zain follows in quick succession. There we go. Wow. Matt only streaming so he can raid Cal? No, I stream because Snark said, "Can you stream?"
Hey, dude, we should double raider, bro.
Dude, like I've had her stream up. I missed her playing Jackbox. Like she started the game and I was like, oh my god, I missed it. Can you if I ask really nicely, can you replay it? And she was like, oh, I'm actually going for dinner now, but I'm leaving the stream open. So when I come back, then maybe. And I was like half an hour ago. So her stream is still up, but I will almost set. Well, I mean, if to be fair, I've already raided it once today. So if you're streaming, I will re-raid you. If you're going to stop, then I will call it there and raid her.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it after this, but that's why I said we should double raider.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like she said, she plays Civilization. I used to play Civilization, like a couple of years ago, a shit ton. Got over 1,000 hours in Civ 5. I was like, collab stream when? And she said, dude, DM me. We'll do it.
Nice. Fuck, I need to ready up.
So I wanna collab hard with her.
Nice, bro. Get it, man. That's what it's about.
Exactly. Best of 9 silent techno. Who is Vwwww? Vwwww is a guy called Matt. He is an excellent player, primarily RA2, but like a lot of RA2 players, plays Yuri's as well.
Player defeated.
They betting money. I have been told that MigX, is that his name?
Korea Mig
is giving the winning team $40, so $20 per player on the winning team. So Legend top right, Andy bottom right, so left versus right, Zain top left, and Matt bottom left. So Matt going Yuri. This will be really interesting to see. As I said, Matt primarily an RA2 player. Twitch chat hasn't corrected me on that yet, so I keep saying it and they keep believing me. But he does play Yuri. Just because he prefers RA2 does not mean he can't play Yuri's Revenge. And if he's not, he plays basically everything. I've seen him play Yuri. His Yuri looks pretty fine. On the flip side, he's got to play Andy along the bottom. Andy is sort of the, I don't want to say the go-to Yuri's Revenge Yuri player, because some people will complain. but he is the poster child for, if you play Yuri, this is the guy to watch, right? So this guy knows more about Yuri than anybody else, you know, asterisk, caveat. And so whether Matt will be able to beat him as Yuri himself is yet to be seen. Zain versus Legend. Again, super tight matchup along the top. Steve saying Matt's Yuri is very good. Well, that's to be seen. I mean, it looks pretty sweet already. Early game Yuri, nothing ever happens. Andy on just getting his 7th miner out. Matt on 6 and with 2 gat tanks behind the barracks. Legend on 5 miners and Zain on 6 with radar tech.
Oh, you had somebody in your chat saying, I told you I'd stop by.
Told you I stopped by. Hey, dude. Yeah, so you're from Kalanixi, aren't you? Sorry. Day drinking has left my brain somewhat addled.
Our ally is under
Yeah, this
attack.
is not Tipson. This is Yuri's Revenge. Commander Conquer, Red Alert 2. Okay, so nice push from Legend here into Zain, taking out a
Our
miner
ally is
already.
under attack.
Matt not really being able to do much. So yeah, spare Maestro. I was drinking with friends and then was asked if I could cast a money game. So this is a 2 versus 2. Legend and Andy versus Way Too High and Zain. Way Too High we'll refer to as Matt. Best of 9. Basically no rules. $40 to the winning team. Normally I play, but this is a caster game. Iraq Soviet, yeah, dude, those desolators are too valuable, much better than anything else. Nice engage in the middle, nice mag juggling there, and Andy, dude, oh, and the dread out from Zain, but the flak out from Legend next to his ref there, nicely preempting it.
Flak didn't do shit.
I mean, one flak is not going to deal with the dread.
Beacon detected.
And Andy pushing into the soft underbelly of Zain. Zain having to run away
Our
from
ally is under
Legend,
attack.
taking out the War Factory and ref on the lower ground.
And VW
Beacon
going
detected.
to genetic mutate
Yeah.
Andy's slaves in the back corner.
Oh, I missed that. The IC, though, out from Zain, is going to try and deal with Andy's units there. Does take out a couple of mags. Is going to take out the Mastermind as well. So useful, but Legend coming and pushing up. Nothing from Zain back in his base.
ally is
Legend's
under
going to get... what
4 flying discs in the top right.
Oh, dealt with by the flags. So Legend gets one of Zain's miners.
Our ally is under attack.
This is looking bad for Legend and Matt. I don't know where to look. They're both being attacked here. Andy's GM on Matt's slaves there seems to have destroyed him.
Our ally is under attack.
Zain's Dreadnought, nice damage, but it's not game-changing enough.
Our
Yeah,
ally
Dread's
is under
done
attack.
now because this
Yeah.
flag is just in the camp.
Those flags just going to sit there. And Matt being defended here by Zain from Legend. Looking at the eco, Andy is pretty broke, but he's in such a solid position. I mean, just look at that.
Our
Haven't
ally
even
is
mentioned
under attack.
the supers. We got the IC out from Legend. Dominator and GM out from both Matt and Andy. And the IC out from Zain, which he's used once, but Zain just can't get a foothold here. I'm surprised he hasn't been spamming drones to deal with basic defense. Matt, on the other hand, is going all in. Miner's going,
Our ally
which
is
means
under
this game is over in the next 2 minutes. If Matt is going all in, then this either works or it doesn't. I expect it not to work. Not with those deaths coming out from Legend. Oh my god, that's a lot of brutes. Andy gonna make a bank. Grinding nose, except he doesn't have a grinder, so who knows? What do you think, John? Incredibly active game.
Beacon detected.
Definitely, this is definitely one of the high intense games, especially for 2v2. Definitely meeting the expectations of these 4 players playing.
I mean, these 4 players. If you had a top 10 list of the best players,
Our ally is under
the top
attack.
10 players in Yuri's Revenge and Red Alert 2, these 4 players would have to be in that top
Our
10
ally
list,
is
right?
under attack.
And there is so much going on. I
Our ally
honestly
is under attack.
can't even talk about it or look at all of it. I'm just trying to. I mean, it is over. Andy just destroying Zane's base in the top left. Matt left in pieces down there, and Legend's base looking pretty unimpressive, but he has done so much work against Zain here. And Matt really didn't seem to have much game impact against Andy.
Our ally is under attack.
And I'm expecting a GG pretty soon. Although given last game, Zain and Legend seemed to play it out until the very last minute. Spare Maestro, thank you ever so much for the sub. That's very kind of you, dude, especially since you've only been here 5 minutes.
Player defeated. Our
There we
ally
go.
is under
Matt is
attack.
out. Zain GG's.
Nice.
And that is 2-1 to Andy and Legend. So Maestro, just a bit of background. Normally I stream with a face cam. And being in the UK, I normally stream at sort of 7, 8 p.m. UK GMT, British Summer Time. Just sort of 2
What
p.m.
map? Oh,
You-
Divide freezes over. That should be nice. It's
Oh, nice
it's
map.
such a treat to watch a 2v2, just like how you played in the 2v2 earlier versus, you know
Dude,
what
don't
I mean?
remind me. I played so badly in that 2v2. I made so many. It's not even when I made the moves. It was before I made the moves. In the back of my mind, I was like, this is just a terrible idea. But what else? I feel like I have to do something. And so I just did something for the sake of it, and it was a terrible idea. I really feel bad for Elmo because I was so confident that we could do that, man. I just screwed up. I haven't watched the Observer stream, and 2v2s are not my forte. Obviously, sort of the 4v4 casual games are what I normally play in stream. 1v1s I do on a semi-regular basis when people like Snark and Kane dare to challenge my authority. But 2v2, dude, that I never considered the different skill set they required. No, it just completely took me out, man.
Yeah, I don't mind if the other guys are watching or not, but I definitely would have picked you kind of being the top player out of the 4. And
Dude, J-Card and obviously J-Card is a very good mate. Being in the FC clan, like he in 1v1s, I think he would agree that I would beat him sort of in a best of 5. I would beat him. He might take some games off me, but I'd win the best of 5. And so I was going into that pretty confident that even if I couldn't beat J-Card, I could at least hold against him, and Elmo could beat Rem, and then it would be a sort of 2v1 situation. My God, like J-Card has come leaps and bounds. His his play there was just absolutely fantastic. You know, I couldn't have lost to a better team. If I had to pick a team to lose out, I'm glad I lost to J-Card. All the best to him going forwards in that.
Yeah, to be fair, you know, spectating, we saw the first game on Heck, and you had built over to the middle ore, and J-Car did not. And then the second game, because of the lag, he immediately went for the middle ore, and I felt like that definitely gave him more of an advantage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like the real game we played on Heck, it was going a lot worse for me. And if you watch back my stream, like in voice chat, I almost got a flat track out to deal with J-Card's Rocketeers. My flat track, the countdown timer was at the 12 o'clock. And the War Factory was killed, and I was screaming at Elmo, dude, get me a flat cannon. And he was sending flat tracks across the map, and I got so salty. And I looked over, and I saw that Ren was dead, and he was moving tanks into J-Card's base. And I was like, dude, I'm so sorry for shouting at you. I wasn't paying attention. Next time, tell me to shut the fuck up. And that's one of the things about 2v2s, right? Is it requires a level of communication and trust between you and your second player, you and your partner, that I think you really need to know them really well, in a way that with 1v1s you just rely on yourself, and with 4v4s, which is what I normally play, it's so chaotic, nobody is communicating on that level. And you don't need to communicate with everybody, it's just the person next to you, or you know, the person who has tanks nearby. Anyway, back to this game. So, Andy top left, allied with Legend top right. So, TVB, Matt in the bottom right, and Zain bottom left. Zain saying NG? Okay, yeah, he does see Andy's NG, and a drone out from Legend, chasing after Zain's tank, but not going into it. Oh my god, Andy got Matt's War Factory there. Devastating.
Wow, I saw it just in time.
King of cheese, and you know.
Our ally is under attack.
I woke up this morning and Snark and Path were streaming Andy versus Zain, and I immediately jumped out of bed, no coffee, sent a message to Snark saying, can I cast some of this? And he was like, for sure. So I jumped in a bit late, and at the end of it, Snark and I were chatting about the cheese, and Snark was saying, oh, it's ugly, dude. And I said, I don't fucking care. Like, it requires so much skill to do this NG rushing, you know, the capturing the buildings. It might be ugly in quotes, but it's a sign of somebody who knows what the hell they're doing. And Matt has now sold 2 War Factories. He is so far behind. And Legend is just running around in circles. And this is all because of Andy's NG rushing on his
our ally is under attack.
On his War Factories. Zain, on the other hand,
our ally is
taking a nice fight, but he is out-tanked. Even if they are plastics, Zain's army is down.
Yeah, Snark's in the chat now. It says ugly.
Yeah, I know. He says that. And
almost lost his MCV, but then sells it.
But then, I mean, he has to, right? We are 3.5 minutes into the game. He has 2 miners out. He's allied. He has nothing. And a seal from Andy. He gets Zain's War Factory. Zain has sold his MCV earlier. And that is it for Zain. And we now have an allied versus allied Sove. And this allied has been early game harassed. This is GG, dude.
Yep, so that's going to be a fucking 3-1, 3 games in a row for Andy and Legend.
I feel like game 1 was fantastic, and I watched that thinking, amazing, you know, this is going to be a great best of 9 that's going to take 2 hours to finish. And then game 2 came along. I thought, okay, you know, even up score, great, you know. We want to take it to the full 9 games. And this game and the last one, it just seems like Andy and Legend have found their mojo. They have found the proverbial G spot for Zain and Matt to
Our ally is
to
under
finish
attack.
them off quickly.
I think Legend just went out and bought a pack of smokes.
Oh, I see. So he is fully energized then. Zain is down there. He's got 2 buildings
Our
left
ally
and
is under
nothing.
attack.
Legend gonna mop up Matt's tanks up here. GI's just run over them.
Player defeated.
Silent Techno, I think Matt isn't used to dealing with Andy's NGs. He'll get triggered. Quite possibly. Like let's not forget there is a psychological aspect to this game, right? As there is with any competitive game. Especially players who know each other and aren't necessarily on the best of terms. They'll get adrenaline rushes for playing against them. They'll get adrenaline crashes when the adrenaline stops. And they'll get irritated when not only they're losing, but they're losing by 3-1. That's not to say they're bad. It's just a point that if you're emotionally invested into a series and you're down 3-1 when the skill level is, in theory, even, these 4 players, great players, all of them, you stick them all in 100 1v1s against each other and the scores will be roughly 50-50, all things being even.
Yep, ready?
Yeah,
And
sorry.
Zane's gonna go Yuri
Zain,
and
Yuri.
3 Iraqis.
Zain, Yuri, and Andy Sove. Interesting. Silent Techno. Dude, I do apologize. Have I played with you? Do you have a CNC net name? Everybody seems to know who you are, and you talk as though you know all these guys, but I feel like I've only known you a week or so from Twitch chat, so I do apologize. But what's your background, man? Do you have a CNC net name that I will instantly know?
All right, I'll take this one.
Good man.
Zain spawning up in the top left as the orange Yuri, and his partner is going to be across the map, blue VW as the blue Soviet. To his left is going to be pink Legend Soviet, starting off with a conscript rush, and his teammate, the one and only Andy, purple Soviet, is doing a conscript rush
Beacon
also.
detected.
So Zain is about to get McGangbang, boys.
So Matt just says to Zain, Connie rush you, which, I mean, he's right, but I do feel like it's a tad too late.
Our ally is under attack.
Is this enough? I'm not sure that, I mean, Zain is not gonna die. This is not a dry heat Connie rush insta GG situation, right? With Matt being able to spam out these sentry guns and, you know, $500 sentry guns instead of $1,000 Gatling cannons. Also the power, if you kill the power, Gatling guns might go offline, but the sentry guns don't. So again, these are all tactics that don't apply in 1v1s, but you have to remember in 2v2s that, you know, it's not treated the same. Along the bottom, Matt, 2 miners, so probably went 0. Sorry, I was focusing on Zain here. And Andy really pushing Zain. Zain does manage to drone a Rhino there.
Our ally is under attack.
And I don't think, actually, Andy's tanks are going to be able to do anything here. Not with a mag and a brute. Yeah, no, they go down. So on the back of this, Andy with 3 miners and nothing else. Legend 2 rhinos. He's getting his war factory ulted. That is the sign of somebody who is pissed off and is determined to fucking win. So Legend set back a little bit. Matt, 4 miners now, so he out miners everybody, I think, here. Okay, Zain on 4, but they are Yuri miners. Matt can do some serious damage to Legend here. Legend on 2, Matt on 4. Matt with over 2k, Legend with just under, about the same, the same.
Top right.
Top right. Okay, yeah, mag and gat. So that mag is gonna... Oh, Zain missed that magging. He wants to get it on top of the barracks, but it's got to take time to rise up. There we go. And Andy has to be really careful now, right? Because if he tries to build a rhino or anything out of a war factory, the magnetron will immediately lift it up and drop it on the war factory. So Legend even builds a ref there to try and get a little extra firepower on the magnetron. Doesn't achieve much. In the bottom left, Legend on just now gets the 5th war out. 5th rhino out. Matt on 5 rhinos down there and taking out one of Legend's miners. Matt's tank control absolutely superb. Gets 2 of Legend's miners there. And Zain reinforces mag in the top right. I missed this with a giant army. This is, yeah, Andy GG's out. Wow. That turned around very quickly.
Do you think they were behind because they both went conscript rush and it was just no coming back because it didn't?
Well, yeah, I mean, the conscript rush... I as I said at the time, I feel like in a 2v2, tactics that work in 1v1 don't necessarily work in 2v2, right? Because the conscript rush is designed to get there. You take out the power. Gatling cannons are 1k instead of 500 for a pill or a sentry gun, and you take out the power and a Gatling doesn't work anyway. Whereas in a 2v2, Matt sticks down sentry guns. They're 500 apiece, so cheap, quick to throw out, and you can't take out Matt's power. So, you know, the Connie Rush is... essentially, you know, it's not going to knock out the Yuri player. It's only ever going to set them back. At least in a 2v2 of players of this quality and caliber. And obviously it did not set Zain back enough. They did not get the war factory. I think the war factory would have been key. Wouldn't necessarily have won them the game, but they didn't get the war, so you know, it didn't achieve very much and economically set them back a lot. Silent Techno, yes. Matt Fair, new to you, new to everybody.
I felt like they tried that rush to prevent Zain from building up that Yuri, which is weird. Because my first thought is, well, Andy can smash Zain's Yuri, so it's not that big of a deal. But I think he was worried about not being able to apply the pressure and having to deal with Matt at the same time. Then Zain's Yuri might be a little bit stronger.
Yep. Oh, sorry, download the map. Why do I have to download this? Silent Techno had another child, so I find myself watching too much of all this and hanging out in Discord. Dude, don't worry about being trash. If you do I don't keep track of the join leave log of the
getting mad props from Silent Techno in the chat, brother.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He said that he had another kid, so he's been hanging around in Discord and watching games, which I think if you're in lockdown and you've got another kid, what else are you gonna like? You got to teach them out Red Alert at some point, right? So you might as well get them going young, and hopefully their first words are "Kane lives," right? Or no, Comrade Premier, it has only just begun. Either way, Techno.
Zed is dead.
Either way, Techno. If you do ! Discord, I don't know if you're in the FC Discord or not, but ! Discord, you'll get the FC Discord. Jump in. We're all noobs in there. We're a Switzerland. We don't care for Yuri's drama.
take this one too. Zane's gonna be blue Yuri in the top left, partnered with BW top right, so top versus bottom. Pink Soviet, and then he's gonna be across from red Andy Soviet, and Legend's gonna have to go up against that Yuri from Zain Green Soviet as well.
Yep. So pretty standard matchup. But yeah, take note, if you ever feel like playing games, when it's not tournament time, we all jump in Discord. There's 5 or 6 of us in a voice chat. You don't have to talk. You don't have to have a mic. You can keep yourself muted if you want, but it's all a bit of fun. Play games, just chill, casual, and, you know, play that every European evening.
3 gats coming down from Zain and the Legend's base.
Jump in, man.
Annoying him.
So have to pull off the miner. Legend already, you know, not economically particularly sound. Oh, and Legend's miner gets droned there as well. This is not looking good for him. Not going to get the war, but the miner is going to go down. Does kill it with the rhino.
Okay, Andy's beaconing Legend. Zain is going for those middle left gems. That's gonna get sniffed out.
Yeah, so that miner is definitely dead, right? It's gotta be dead. Probably dead? Maybe not dead. Yeah, the lasher gets droned. So the miner is dead.
We're free!
I mean, this is the issue with Yuri, right? Is that movable miners are great and super overpowered, but if you get too greedy with them, especially in the early game, as Yuri you can't defend. Your army as Yuri is 95% of Yuri players' build is you have a small army, you have high micro and high APM, and your army is all in one place. And so against a Soviet player exploits that by splitting against you in as many places as possible. And taking out your long distance miners.
Yeah, that's one thing I still haven't perfected is knowing all the mismatches and when to go in, and you know, you're not gonna beat this, you're not gonna beat that. So
I mean,
I'd like to get to your level.
I mean, dude, yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's still okay. Nice engagement on the right hand side here. Matt attacking both Andy and Legend while Zain goes in on the left, takes out one of Legend's miners. Oh, and Andy and Legend split their tanks, so Matt is able to take out all of Andy's rhinos there and then take out Legends one after the other. Is he gonna eat? Okay, force shield out from Andy. Does save his MCV.
And now Legend's in trouble. 4 lashers coming down on the left-hand side. He's gonna be able to hold it.
I mean, Twitch chat, CR7 makes a good point. Not so much Andy is noob with Sove. I won't necessarily agree with that, but it is weird that Andy went Sove, right? Andy is a Yuri and allied player. If he doesn't play Yuri, he plays allied. So it's weird to see him go Sove.
Yeah, I'll tell you, they're gonna lose this game, and I put $100 on it. Andy goes Yuri next game, 100%.
You think?
I don't think, I know.
You know? Yeah, I mean, depending on the map, unless it's an incredibly allied favored map, I mean, Legend is always going to go safe. So if it's something like DMZ, then Andy will go Yuri for the AFC. But otherwise, yeah, you're right. He's going Yuri.
Yeah, Silent, you're right. Andy does not like to play Soviet or no. Was it Allied in Yuri on this map? I think I know Andy said it's 2 of the 3 factions are terrible on this map.
I mean, I've heard people say this is a Soviet-favored map, so I assume therefore he means that it's a not great map for Allied and Yuri.
Allied and Yuri.
I've seen Allied players make good work out of this, but big maps, bad for Yuri, basically. Because Yuri is the most concentrated faction, right? You have a singular army. It requires high micro and high APM, and it is incredibly powerful. And you don't really do splits. Your miners auto move to other places, so you don't need to move, therefore you don't defend places, etc, etc. So the smaller the map, the better Yuri is. Zain getting most of his army droned over here on the left hand side. It is only lashes and gats, so kind of doesn't matter.
Iron Curtain for the 2 South Soviets and Mutator up for Yuri. No big deal, boys.
I mean, this is pretty tight, right? You know, Matt and Zain looked pretty good 2 in-game minutes ago, and now I'm not going to say they're losing, but it's evened up for sure, right?
100%.
There is Zain's got a lab, obviously being Yuri, so he does force shield Matt's MCV, but Legends tanks here. Matt's going to lose his MCV. And all of his rhinos, and some of his miners. If Legend sticks around.
Oh, Zain's in the back of
oh, wow,
right
okay,
now.
yeah, so the question is, can he kill Legend before Andy and Legend can kill Matt? You know, if you can turn it into a 2v1, even for 30 seconds, you have an advantage. But it doesn't look like he can. The IC should go down. Drones coming out from Legend is going to end up destroying all but the disc from Zain. And Andy's flat cannon there is going to clean up the disc. Matt survives Andy and Legend's push up there. Interesting. But Andy does have the nuke. Andy has the nuke.
It's a nuclear device, boys.
It is a nuclear device. And at this point, I can't call this.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to all the ore being gone on the map.
I mean, kinda, yeah. I mean, Matt's going into Andy's nuke at the moment. He will get it. Oh, and he had an elite and he lost the elite. He might get Andy's MCV here. Okay, Andy sells the MCV. I think Andy probably would have saved the MCV though. I don't think Matt would have gotten it. And Legend's moved his MCV actually to the gold on the left. So Legend with his MCV, Zain with his MCV, Matt without, and Andy without.
Beacon detected.
And
Under attack.
okay, so Matt beaconing the fact that Andy was trying to NG rush his battle lab there. Zain has to sell his lab. Zain is also broke. Matt lost his MCV but built another one. So we got 2 MCVs versus 0. Andy does also have a repair depot, so and he loses his nuke reactor. This could be the turning point here. Matt going into Andy's miners here, loses 1, loses 2, loses 3.
Our ally is under attack.
Andy in the middle of Zain's base.
Yeah, but that's a lot of lashes, and with the brutes, it should clean it up nicely. In fact, Matt is even sending rhinos over to help. Legend ends up fighting off Matt's rhinos in Andy's base. Andy is left with... he has a repair depot, so he can build. Oh, no, he can't. He had no money! Oh, my God.
Yeah, Andy had 2 miners on a smoke break that game. And it was weird too because Andy had also beaconed Legends Power on the right-hand side, and I'm trying to figure out why.
Good God. So you know how when it was 3-1, we were saying, oh, Matt and Zain, first game was brilliant, but, you know, the last few, they seem to have slipped. Well, here we go, you know.
Yeah, come on, Frank. You know we're all backing you, brother.
Exactly, you know. Frank knows as well as everybody else that while there might be high school drama between Yuri's players and RA2 players and all the rest of it, Fortune's Chaos has always been a sort of no drama, no bullshit zone. You know, we are the Switzerland of the RA2 community. That's what we modeled ourselves on. We were like, we don't know the drama and we don't care. Which means if you want to bring drama, fuck off.
You let that one player in there? That's a lie.
You know, a little bit of light ribbing and a little bit of light banter is fine, but after 9 months of FC being a thing, I think most people have realized, like, in Bal's tournament chat in the FC Discord, right? There's not really much toxic stuff, really, if you compare it to the other Yuri's Discords where stuff gets a lot worse. And we like that. Anyway, back to players. Enough about extolling the virtues of Fortune's Chaos. Zain in the top right, allied with Matt in the bottom right as double Yuri, and Legend in the top left as Soviet, unsurprisingly, and Andy in the bottom left as Yuri. Andy always wins this map. Zain asking for flak. Interesting. Not entirely oh, flak track. Right, okay, I see. I was like, what the fuck's he need flak for? There's no Rocketeers.
Yeah, there are. You don't see them?
Our ally is under attack.
Oh my God!
Our ally is under attack.
Oh no! That is devastating. I have no words.
Rip. That's it.
Matt's
you only need one
MCV goes
word.
down. Matt's power plant goes down as well, which is equally as devastating. It means when he survives on, if he survives on, he should survive on, but his build speed will be so much lower. Oh, that is an absolute disaster. Sean, Adam is already a Twitch mod, dude.
Gonna take a miracle and a hand grenade for the right side to win this one, boys.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna take a fucking miracle. Pray to whichever god you pray to, and then pray to another one just for luck.
Thanks, J-Card. Way to stay on top.
Jacob, was the stream title not like already roughly that? I mean, I don't mind. You're a mod. Change to whatever the fuck you like.
He fixed it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, I was drunk when I wrote a stream title, so still am. So Matt is left on low power, radar, war factory, and racks. So Yuri clones are probably going to be a big part of his army here. Zain doing Yuri things. I assume, but this happens so rarely I don't know. Maybe you do. In FFGs, if somebody loses an MCV, somebody else can buy them an MCV, deploy it, unally, they capture, and then re-ally. That presumably is not allowed in tournament games, correct?
Correct, and typically, I don't play that shit either.
I mean, it is basically cheating.
What's your opinion on this then? You are America, or whatever, allied. The other person is Yuri. Yuri Prime.
In the
fucking
BFs?
sucks your battle lab and then builds 2 more super weapons.
I mean, I do feel like basically attacking your ally for your own advantage is cheating, right? You know, you're force firing your ally. That has to be sort of considered cheating.
Okay.
I think, you know, there is a grey line between game mechanics and cheating, but I think that really does cross it. I mean, Zane's army here gonna get screwed over by the IC drones, the Yuri Prime hiding on the water, but Zane might be able to grind some of this, but Matt's gone all in here. He's got no miners left, apart from the 2 in his army, a couple of GATs, a couple of mags, and a Yuri clone. So this is really a 2v1 at this point. J-Card, the TTS is fucked, and
Insanity says he's seen 58 engineer rushes today. Quinn versus Big Butt, and then now this shit.
I mean, I saw Andy Zane this morning, Kien versus Big Butt. I think between the 2 of them, they probably didn't quite hit 20, but they must have come close. Between the 2 series and the 4 players, it must have come close to 20 engineers. Actually, no, Kien went double engineer quite often, so it definitely went over 20. Yeah, J-Card, TTS is fucked. It's on my list of things to do. But basically, I need to relink a new website because they changed their web link.
Well,
so,
that's
sorry
how
about that,
Mr. Bike Rush got famous on Tiberium Dawn.
How's that?
He would go, basically, the non-units have an attack motorcycle that shoots missiles, strong versus buildings and tanks, and then what he would do is attack you with a rush of vehicles, and then always send 3 NGs. 2 or 1 on the left, 1 on the right, and 1 up the middle. And would always hit one of them.
I mean, just to finish off this game, Matt is down to a Gatling cannon. The only reason it isn't dead is because Andy only has discs and mastermind, which obviously can't destroy a Gatling cannon. Zane is, if not being beaten back by a legend at the top, is at least in a stalemate here. And it's very quickly going to become a 2v1. As I said at the start of this series, if it's part of the game, like NG rushing, no matter how annoyed I might get when it happens to me, no matter how much I might not like it or prefer something else, I think it's perfectly reasonable to NG rush them. I might rather they didn't, so that the game lasts longer and you see more, but it's part of the game. You gotta respect that.
Yep.
And there is an undeniable skill required to do it and to fight it off. And I think at the end of the day, once you recognize that there's a skill required to do it and fight it off, then, you know, it becomes a lot less cheesy than one might first think. Icing the masterminds up here is a genius move that you rarely see. An IC'd mastermind doesn't take any damage from being overloaded. Zane here basically dead. Matt still just got the Gat cannon left in his wandering army. Frank saying I'm speaking pure nonsense. Frank, that is because I haven't spoken to you in over a week, man. And obviously the alcohol, the day drinking. But if I was sober, and Frank, you were in here to correct me and to guide me in the correct way, I would not be speaking such BS. When a player like Vwwww loses MCV and NG and that makes him lose, gross.
Well, maybe a player like Vwwww should learn how to defend it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm torn. I'm honestly torn. I don't know which way I think it should go.
Our ally is under attack.
as I say, I'd rather people didn't NG rush. I think that's boring. I think that sucks. I think that ruins the game, I would go so far to say. And I think it doesn't allow players to show their true abilities. And there we go, Zain GG's and Matt will GG in a second. And I agree, it doesn't allow players to show their true skill. It's here we go. It's kind of on a par with Dog Eat NG, right? It's not quite as random as Dog Eat NG, but it's close to that. But I think the difference between NG rushing and Dog Eat NG going for oils is enough that it is kind of acceptable and it is defendable.
Player defeated.
Just my personal opinion. Just my personal opinion. And at the end of the day, if the game rules allow it, then it's allowed, regardless of whether we hate it or not. If you're hosting a tournament, if you're doing a cash games or whatever, and you don't like that, put it in the rules.
Yep. And,
like,
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, put it in the rules, and I don't think anyone would complain. Or people would complain, but nobody would not play your game because of that, right? People would be like, I can't do this, fine. But they'd still play the game. They wouldn't be like, this is so restrictive. It's like showing up to a chess game and forcing the opponent to play Dungeons and Dragons. Frank, dude, like, I love you to bits, man, but I agree with you on 99% of stuff, but I just don't see that. I don't see that. Maybe I'm being blind. I'm probably being blind. But I don't see it being quite so black and white. Sorry, John, you were saying before I rudely interrupted you.
No, you're good. I didn't hear anybody else say it, so props to J-Card on congratulating Fortune Chaos with 700 followers.
Oh, shit.
Give it up, boys.
Yeah, no, he tried to TTS that, and I said, oh yeah, TTS is broken, and then ignored his message. Shit, if I have reached 700, fantastic. Congratulations, me. Although, having said that, thank you ever so much, everybody who's watching, and everybody who has watched and got me to this point. I obviously, literally, couldn't have done it without you. And it means an awful lot. It really does. So, without wanting to get emotional in my inebriated state, thank you ever so much. Dude, like, when I first started streaming and started streaming with J-Card and Hotwire and MJ, we just did it for a fucking laugh. I thought to myself, honestly, genuinely thought to myself, who the fuck wants to watch me play Yuri's Revenge? And that held me back from streaming anything for like 6 years. When I was at uni, I kept thinking, I really want to stream, but I don't know what to stream. Like, nobody in their right mind would want to watch me. So, like, you know, thank you guys for proving me wrong.
Beacon detected.
Anyway, back to the game and me not being soppy. Legend in the top and Annie on the right versus Matt in the bottom and Zain on the left. Oh, Zain gets one of Legend's minors there, but the ref does just go up, so the repair depot should be out.
Pharaoh Wizard, thank you for the raid. Appreciate it, brother. Me and Fortune Chaos, another Reddit 2 Years Revenge streamer and player, are casting 2v2 cash games. Players walking out with cash money in their pockets. Welcome, everybody. Hope you enjoy.
I mean, what I'm doing is hardly casting. I'm just sort of moving my mouse around the screen and saying random words and making sounds with my mouth, and people seem to be believing that, you know, I'm actually putting in effort. Steve, what best of is this? This is best of 9, man. Again, I have been day drinking. It is now almost 2:30 in the morning for me, so and I was not expecting to
Beacon
stream this
detected.
late, so I'm so fucking gone. So Andy is out. Oh, Pharaoh Wizard, thank you for the follow, dude.
Yep, that's the guy that just rated me. He's a
I-
Red Alert 1 player. Awesome dude.
I'm pretty sure I've raided Pharaoh Wizard before, like a few months ago, but I'm pretty sure he's been in my chat or I've raided him or I've come across the name. I've definitely seen him around. Thank you for the follow, dude. So Andy pushing in on Matt at the bottom here. Again, it is top right versus bottom left. Zain trying to take out one of Andy's miners here. He will take
Our
it.
ally is under attack.
And Rhinos from Legend coming in on what I will call Zane's base over here. It looks like Zain and Matt did flip starting positions. Most of Matt's army being mind controlled by Andy's masterminds here. Alright. Will he be able to fight it off? Well, mind controlled units obviously can't be re-mind controlled. And so Yuri versus Yuri can end up being really nasty if you mind control your opponent's army. Side towers, masterminds, they don't work. And here Legend taking out Zane's MCV. Matt's MCV up in Zane's base, so they swap starting positions.
Our ally is under attack.
And this is dude, how did Legend's MCV die? I missed that. I was looking down at Matt.
Yeah, I missed it too.
Fuck's sake. Legend's MCV does go down to Zain, we'll say. Excellent skill with Rhinos up there. So Legend is basically out of this. Andy has a base. He is low power because he used a force shield on his miner up there. You'll see Andy doing that a lot, actually. Not every Yuri player does it, but I think Leo does it. I think we've seen Leo do it, using a force shield on their miner. So Legend is out. Legend's buildings can't produce anything. If he GG'd now, it wouldn't make any difference whatsoever. He has no units on the field. Matt, on the other hand, lost his MCV, but he still has his radar, his racks, and his wall. And several miners. Andy pushing in here, but it is a 2v1. And this is going to be really difficult, especially for a Yuri player.
Beacon detected.
Yeah, Zayn already splitting because he knows it's hard for Yuri to defend that.
Exactly, man. That's and the flaks are just gonna melt the discs.
Fisk in flight.
GM on the slaves. Andy's sitting on 4K, so he's not broke per se, but you know, his eco is going to run out, especially with this 2v1 where the noose is around his neck, so to speak. He is going to struggle to be able to break out of this. And this is looking very likely to go to a 4-4 and therefore a match point both ways.
Got a series, boys.
And there we go. Legend is out officially. Zayn obviously does not have an MCV, but he does have double war. He has 3 miners, and Matt has his entire base. Dominator is out for Andy, as is the Mutator. Mutator out for Matt. No Dominator for him, no, yet.
There it goes.
And there is his Dominator. The question is, will he be able to use it this game. Ditto Andy. Something else to bear in mind in a Yuri versus Yuri is that obviously your opponent has slaves that you can mutate yourself. Brutes can't be mind controlled. Do a lot of damage versus buildings and tanks. So if Matt was to mutate this bottom ore patch here of Andy's when going in and when Zain goes in from the top, I think that would be a sort of a great GG hit. And not, I don't want to assume what this is. I don't know whether Andy thinks he can genuinely win. I don't know whether this is a punt. He thinks sort of, well, if I GG out now, I've definitely lost. If I stay in the game, there is still a chance. Or whether he's doing it out of some spite. I'm not going to make an assumption, but it's interesting that Andy is staying in this. I think if you watch 1v1s, 2v2s at lower levels, when players think they're in a down and out position, they'll just GG out. Andy here, he's in a 2v1, but he's still in the game. And this might be to try and tilt Matt and Zain, but it may also be because he thinks he can win, which is interesting. Again, it's just something else that you see at the higher levels and is really interesting to watch. And he's doing fantastically. Like, he is turtling hard, and obviously with his Dominator, he can. Zain's war factories are far enough apart there that the Dominator will not take them both out. But he can take out the ref. Just realized. I mean, knew that all along. So Dominator between Zain's war factory and ref there would essentially knock. Would essentially knock Zain out of the game. I apologize for missing that. I was expecting Andy to fire his off first. I mean, a dominate into Zain's army there wouldn't really do much.
I think Andy's gonna GG out.
I mean, he's got to, right? I mean, we've gone from optimistic might be able to do it to there is zero chance of you winning this, chum. Let's just end it.
Wow. Game 9, boys.
4-4. I mean, this has been so back and forth, man. This has been so back and forth. Hey, God, how's it going, man? Yeah, Snark said that he needed me, and obviously if Snark says he needs me, I will be. If Snark says he needs me, I will be there for him. Here comes Frank.
Here comes Santa Claus.
Here comes Santa Claus.
I love it.
What is it? Oh, DMZ.
DMZ.
Not DMA, DMZ.
I think your wife gets more viewers than you do, bro.
She's on 32 and I'm on 32 apparently. She's also got 6.3 thousand followers. And when, you know, I was even thinking about this earlier when you left the VC and I was showing the J card, you know, I was saying this is really interesting. Like, I've got almost 1/10 of her followers, right? And she's not really an e-girl kind of, you know, boo jacuzzi bikini, streamer, whatever. She might be an attractive young woman, but she's playing games. It's no different to me. If I look like an Abercrombie and Fitch model, then that'll be the similarity there. But I thought it was really interesting that she and I were getting around about the same viewers, while I had 1/10 of her followers. Just goes to show you, Twitch chat, that boobs are temporary and Yuri's is forever. No Frank? Well, I haven't had a message from Frank Snark, so he can join the VC though. There is no delay on the stream. So Matt and Zain on the right hand side here. Matt and Zain swap sides, so Zain is basically top and Matt is basically bottom, but always useful to look out on the MCVs in case they get rushed. Andy on the bottom and Legend on the top. So Legend versus Zain and Andy versus Matt. They've done this quite often, which is interesting, right? While I don't know Matt especially well, Zain has a huge amount of experience playing Andy. I assume that that Zain has more experience playing Andy than Matt does. Therefore, why do they keep choosing Matt to play versus Andy? Now, may well be because that Matt is playing Yuri and Andy is playing Allied.
Did you order double cheese, brother?
I mean, Andy's delivering it. Oh, he doesn't get the war. Oh, and there is another one. Oh, he gets the wall.
Got it.
Okay, so he gets the wall. I'm surprised Zain isn't. And Legend gets the AFC!
Our ally is under attack.
Oh my god, and double pill comes down from Andy. They've got to kill the AFC here. They just have to, because otherwise Legend and Andy are going to keep spamming pillboxes and sentries here. Frank, you left all Discords. ! Discord, Frank, and you're at the FC Discord. Jump back in, man. Come on, do it, Frank. You know I love your voice.
Our ally is under attack.
Frank mod? Yeah, of course Frank's a fucking mod. So Andy's tanks harassing Matt's miners down here. Legend coming in on top of this. Psychic Tower out with the grinder is a really nice defense. So not going to be able to push Matt here really. And they decide not to flip to Zain, but to try and wrap around. And Andy going in with the Rocketeers versus Yuri. That's a questionable tactic. Because on the Twitch chat, do ! Discord so that Frank can jump in the FC Discord and jump in the chat. I want to talk to Frank. Frank, get your fucking ass in here, man.
Our ally is under attack.
I want to be mod. Sean, if you do ! Discord, I will consider it.
Be a mod, $50 a month, brother.
Our ally is under attack.
Okay, so Matt's power gonna go down here.
You're lucky. I love you, Matt.
Frank. Dude, your voice soothes me. Okay. John, Legends base. Oh. I mean, it's not entirely gone, but it looks to be disappearing.
I think that's a glitch.
Power drop, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had an NG Fest here. Zain is alive somehow. More than alive, he's got a bunch of miners. He probably should be dead. Got NG'd twice. But his opponent's Andy, so I guess, when you're playing a random medium player, you can hold.
Andy is only on okay, he's got 4 miners now. He's got another ref out. But Andy's pretty much broke. He's got a Handful of plastics.
And the Yuri is tech now.
Yeah.
This attack right now does not work. They're going to be in some serious trouble here. This is a pretty desperate attack here from Andy. This has to work.
So.
And it looks like it is because Legend is having a field day upstairs.
Yeah, I mean, Zain let one of his miners die there, and the other two are AFK. And the power drop from Andy down bottom. I mean, Zain and Matt are basically being pulled apart, right? You saw it with Andy's tanks in the middle and Legend's tanks on top. Zain couldn't decide where to move his rhinos to, and Matt ended up moving his army up to deal with Andy's plastics, and then the power drop came in at the bottom.
Yep, that was the damage.
Power drop in the back Legend's base taking out
Yeah.
the lab.
Andy has a battle lab now, and this is all about Zain trying to stay alive and Matt trying to kill Andy here.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zain can stay alive for a while longer, as long as Legend doesn't get an elite tank. And Matt is rich, and he might be getting a Psychic Dominator soon. So who can die first?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a sort of pretty much a critical mass Yuri army, right? Maybe another mastermind. He's only got the one.
I'm concerned about this genetic mutator here. That can turn all those slaves into brutes, and he can go kill the ally. Right
Yeah, I mean, that's 6 miners worth of slaves right there.
Oh, but there's a barracks there from Legend. He's gonna just build a Desolator, so.
Mm-hmm. Yep, first Deso out, and a lot of flak from Legends as well.
I don't think Matt can quite push this yet.
I don't think he can either. I
He
see.
needs a Psychic, right? That's what he needs.
Sorry, yeah, I was just gonna say I see finally out from Legend, minute in game out, but
Where are these brutes going?
he's
Who
using-
is observing? Who is observing this?
Sorry, I'm observing this, but I've been day drinking. I'm fucked, man. I'm absolutely fucked.
Ally is under attack.
So this is a pretty big push here. These brutes are potentially going to win the game, or are they all going to... Welcome to Yuri's event. Are the brutes going to kill everything, or are they all going to die in one hit? Ladies and gentlemen,
the
Yuri's
Deso's-
event.
Oh, the Deso came out! I got Mastermind, but most of those brutes are gone. The Gats are all gone.
And they're all dead. Welcome to Yuri's.
And on the flip side, Andy is pushing into the middle of Zain and Matt.
Oh, man.
And Legends tanks on the top, taking out Zane's miners.
And his MCV goes down.
Andy's MCV goes down. If he can take out the Chrono, that might be okay. I sees the Chrono. Oh! Miscommunication. I sees the Chrono and then sells it.
Where's the force shields? Why wasn't he force shielding?
Maybe he didn't have the force shield. No, he must have had the force shield up.
Yeah, they both should have force shield.
Yeah.
A little brain fart there.
And down in
Is Zain alive still?
Zain is
Oh, no.
alive. He is
How
on.
is Zain still alive?
He's
dude?
only
What
on
the fuck?
3 miners. Legend keeps poking and prodding, and Zane's tanks are going in. Legend's MCV is gone. And the nuke reactor should be gone as well. And there's an elite.
It's...
There's an elite out of Zain. Can he save it? Probably not. Oh, Deso out. Stops the mirages, keeping on going up.
Yeah, Matt Stark says his Discord on mute. We can't hear Frank.
You can't hear Frank? Frank, say something, man.
Can you hear me?
Our ally is under attack.
Hello?
Player
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
And Andy GG'd out.
Player defeated.
That is what you said.
And that's GG. Matt and Zain take the series. Wow.
I mean, look, we saw Zain get NG twice. We saw him lose a ton of miners. He was down to 2 AFK miners for a while. And he still came back and killed his guy. I don't know. That's not supposed to happen.